This is our courthouse, the center of our county government. The county became a county in 1909, but the 25th Territorial Legislature had to make some concessions to be able to let us kind of spin off from Graham. And one of those concessions was we had to wait 2 years to go into business. So from the time the legislature, or the actually territorial assembly, gave us permission to be a county, we waited 2 years. So January 1st of 1911 was when we really actually started our first business. Like I said, the county had to buy our way into existence, and so they immediately started trying to get this thing built and be able to get into it. They got into it in September of 1911. So we celebrated 101 years in this building already. We had our centennial already. We had a great party here for a lot of folks that came in and celebrated that anniversary for us. We actually celebrated it in 2009 because our birthday, of course, is 1909. Just because we had to wait those 2 years to go into business didn't mean that we weren't already working to get things done here. But this building, the company that did it was a great company, but in the first 2 years after the building was built, the foundation failed. And so this side of the building slopes 7 inches from one corner to the other. So for all of those years, we've always had this issue with this building, having that kind of unstable thing. There were days that you couldn't lock the door. And it got condemned in 1983. And so from 1983 until 1997, there was a push as to whether we tear it down or we get it refurbished. In the late 60s, the Board of Supervisors had decided it probably should come down and they would build a new building. And so the annex next door was built, one floor of it. Bad times, loss of revenue sharing, all of these things kind of took into play the fact that the county didn't make any move on finishing that annex, the other 2 floors of it, or doing anything with this building. Then we get into the condemnation and then having to make the decision. And so in the 90s, we got a push from local folks that wanted to save this building because we had lost so many buildings in our area from either the expansion of the mine or flooding, other things. They were just torn down. So we didn't have a whole lot of our historical buildings left. And this one had some ability to have some uses and to be able to be renovated. This ceiling is the original. A lot of it is the original. It's pressed tin. Oh. It was the company that did it originally was still in business in El Paso, and they had the original press, so we were able to go back and use them to get the exact pieces that we needed to replace that had been damaged in this ceiling and then the one above on the top floor in the courtroom. And it's a beautiful ceiling. All of these fixtures are original to the building. They're not new. The floor, at some point in time during probably the 40s, they had come in and put linoleum strips over the top of it. So the contractor wasn't real sure what he was going to be able to find when he got it all up. He did, and you can see it's a beautiful floor this is the original flooring from the building from 1911. Okay. These chairs actually came out of the courtroom upstairs. We actually went ahead and put in pews instead of keeping these up there. But they weren't even original to this building. They were put in here in 1911, but they came from a school here in Clifton. But this elevator is really not an elevator, it's a lift, because there's not the room below or above it like you have in a normal elevator situation. But this elevator and the one in the annex are the only 2 public elevators in the county. For the contractor, we made sure they kept all of the original names that they could, like gents' toilet, ladies' toilet. All the transoms work. And we use them for the airflow.
Was the architect able to take the transoms into account when he did airflow for the building?
I'm sure he did, yes. And one of the things that we made sure that they did was keep the old doors. Security is a big deal, but we've done things to make sure that we're secure, but we kept all of our old doors.
So they date to 1911, too?
Yes.